What's up, good people of the internet? Mark with Kardavox Academy here, and I'm very excited because I am going to be doing a vocal analysis of my second Imminence song here on the channel, God-Fearing Man. I'm pumped on it. A lot of people, I wasn't originally going to do it because lately I've been into very sludgy metal. Maybe it's the new Whitechapel that's done that to me. But I love the few songs by Imminence that I've heard, so I'm very excited. I'm very excited to check it out. I think Eddie Berg is a phenomenal vocalist, and the fact that I've only heard like 2 or 3 songs by Imminence is not because I haven't cared to go listen. It's because due to the nature of my career as a harsh vocal coach, I give lessons full time teaching people how to do safely and efficiently so they don't hurt themselves. Most of the time I'm listening to the heavier, nastier side of metal. So I'm excited to have an excuse to check it out. Before we get started, I want to talk to you real quick about this video's sponsor, BetterHelp. People who have seen this channel before know that I've got some health limitations that unfortunately keep me inside quite a bit. And we've just entered springtime. I know Arizona has seasons, what the heck? But we've just entered a time when people are starting to go hiking. My son, who's 2.5, is a lot more interested in playing outside. He constantly wants me to run with him. And not to lie, I get a lot of anxiety about, not just having fun and missing out, but being a present partner, being a present father. My kid wants me to play soccer and I can take like 4 or 5 steps before I'm winded. So this can actually cause a lot of anxiety in me. And I know a lot of other people are in similar situations. Not to mention, due to the nature of my job, I basically live on social media, and I find myself, as much as I try not to, comparing myself to other people, seeing them running around outside, climbing hills, going diving, and I say, dang, if I'm not doing that, am I really living life? Now, of course, I know that these thoughts and these feelings are not actually helpful, and they don't encourage me to go do the things that I need to do or how to find solutions. But sometimes knowing how to find those solutions on my own is tricky. So if you're like me and anxiety peaks for you around this time of year, my sponsor BetterHelp can connect you with a therapist who can provide support. The majority of BetterHelp members seek support for anxiety, and 69% of those members report improved anxiety symptoms after 6 weeks of therapy on BetterHelp. And the best part is, it's super easy to start. Just fill out a questionnaire and you will match with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. And one of the best parts is that you can easily switch therapists at no extra cost if the fit isn't quite right. They carefully make sure that the therapists on the platform are well qualified, and their customer service team is there to help you should you have any questions. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform you can put your trust in. Let BetterHelp rule your anxiety so that your anxiety doesn't rule you. Click the link in the description below or go to betterhelp.com/Kardavox for 10% off your first month of therapy. Okay, let me flex my vocal analysis muscles. Here we go. Imminence, God-Fearing Man. Let's do it. I'm just going into it. No YouTube cut. Bam.
It hurts like hell, but it feels like heaven. It hurts like hell, but it feels like heaven. It hurts like hell, but it feels like. It hurts like hell, but it feels like.
Interesting.
Cause I don't wanna see the pain inside, the truth that brings me to my knees. It hurts like hell, but it feels like heaven.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it. Normally I don't let the song play for that long, but I was listening to see if we were gonna get any screams. I'm assuming there are some screams because, again, my thing is predominantly harsh vocalization. Now, I do a lot of clean singing in Kardashev, the band that I do vocals in. We just released a single called Reunion recently. But there's a lot to talk about with the clean singing voice here that I really want to get into. To my knowledge, to my knowledge, Imminence only has one singer, one vocalist, and that's Eddie here. And there are a couple things I'm noticing that are very, very, very cool. First and foremost, there's an alternation of timbre that I'm finding very interesting. You know, one thing that is very popular right now in a lot of different genres is this low chest voice, sort of airy singing. Now, I'm not going to try to mimic this melody because I'm hearing it for the first time. I don't have it memorized. But, you know, one of the ways that I like to sort of ease into this sound is with Architects Doomsday, specifically the reprise, right? So this sort of like, you know, hey, remember when hell had frozen over? And this sort of like droopy, pouty mouth fry to like not fry scream, but vocal fry. Hey, remember when hell had frozen over? Letting that fry through is a very popular technique. And it also tends to be very dark. So the fact that he's coming in with brighter tones, right? Now, when I'm talking about bright tones, I'm talking about sounds that accentuate the high-end frequencies of our voice. And when we're talking about timbre, what we're talking about is the way that we can make the same pitch sound different. That description is one that I really like, and it comes from the YouTube channel Sounds Good. That's the name of the channel. There's this really great video on timbre that she posted. I can't remember her name, unfortunately. And that's how she described it. And I was like, dang, that's perfect. But a good example of this is I can take, you know, like, let's do something super simple, like happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Boom, right? So if I take this, I can make it dark. Happy birthday to you. Make it bright. Happy birthday to you. All the same pitch, all the same tone. And the fact that he is really around the same space, but alternating between bright and dark is really keeping it interesting, because we're a minute and a half in. That's a lot of time, but I'm not bored with the fact that he's staying in this soft, airy space. I'll go ahead and let the song keep playing to see if we can get a little bit more forward. But there's a lot of back and forth between gentle delivery of voice and powerful punctuation of instrumentation wow, that sounds like word salad that I just made up to sound like word salad. But I mean what I'm saying. There's a really good balance between soft elements and hard elements. We'll put it that way. Let's keep going. Nice. I'm going to pause it there. So before we talk about the screams, before we talk about the screams, I want to talk a little bit about some more choices he's making with the, let me turn on my self-monitoring here. Before we talk about the screams, I want to talk about some of the interesting choices he's continuing to make with his vocal composition, right? One thing that I love is that he went into a bright, high, forward-placed voice, but he didn't go into a belt. I feel like a lot of vocalists would have done that when the song really hit, when it really picked up. It's a very common thing to do. We connect those vocal cords, we open up the vocal tract, and we project and we add a ton of power. That's a lot of my technique. That's a lot of what I like to do. Song gets powerful, I get powerful. He had a lot of power, less in the weight of the tone, right? And more in the delivery of the tone. Now, what am I talking about specifically? Like, what are some specific examples of this, right? Well, I can create, again, I'm not going to try to sing this because I don't know it yet, but I can create a very like powerful connected sound. I can do like a, you know, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Or I can do the same thing, less based on pressing into that sound and more based on creating a light sound that cuts through. So like a hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The difference between hey, 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 adding more or less weight to it. So it was really interesting how we had these big punchy sounds, but we had a softer, lighter voice with a lot of reverb on it. And on top of that, he was using a lot of darker vowels, right? Different vowels that we use and that we sing with carry different colors and textures with them, right? Anybody who is watching this, that's you especially notice this in harsh vocals, right? Now, if this is your first Kardavox Academy video, the main type of vocal that I do when it comes to harsh vocals is like sludgy deathcore death metal stuff. And anybody who does sludgy deathcore death metal stuff knows that if you're going low, vowels like oo, o, are great. If you're going high, vowels like e, a, are very, very, very powerful, right? So I think the word he sang was mountain. He didn't say mountain because it generally is kind of a yucky sounding vowel to sing. Not always. There are exceptions to this. A lot of times what people would do is they'd say mountain, mountain, mountain. Sometimes people take this a little too far using a bright vowel to help their voice. For example, it's going to be may. It's a classic example of maybe taken a little bit too far. But he almost said, again, I'm using the word mountain. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he almost said like mountain. And that's giving him like this confident, like rocky tone that I'm really enjoying. It's an interesting choice, and it's a good example of how like you can combine things. We don't always have to follow like the bright vowels for high singing, dark vowels for low singing. We can really smush it around. Now, gonna let it go a little bit farther before I start talking about the screams, because I'm hoping that there are some that are a little bit more forward in the mix. He has this awesome, bright, tall, powerful fry tone that I just love. And it's not a tone that I generally do myself. So it's really fun to listen to. We're going to talk about it. We'll get pretty in depth, but let's see if there's more that comes through.
I don't wanna go before I reach the end.
Nice.
Of all the things you call, I'm missing on my soul. Hurts like hell, but it feels like heaven. Hurts like hell, but it feels like nothing is secret. In a heart full of hatred. I've been looking for God in the silence. So I'm from the depth to the black in the rising.
That, it wasn't mountain. Rise, that's a dark vowel. Dark vowel, light high singing placement creates this really cool combination. That's neat. There was also a spot where he held on to an I'm just gonna say horizon because again, I don't remember the word, but he did like this. Instead of singing like horizon, it's horizon. I'm just making up some sort of melody right now, but that's a really cool take, holding on to that vowel and giving a little of a vibrato to that vowel. That caught me by surprise. That was a classy choice. Yeah, I know I keep pausing and I'm not going to apologize, but man, we got to go back. There are some awesome things going on with the vocal production here. Now, I'm not an engineer. In fact, I'm kind of surprised that a lot of my students and a lot of viewers were saying I should cover this song, because this is, I'll be honest, this is a little bit outside of my expertise. Again, I'm teaching people deathcore and death metal and black metal, in all of these things, but I'm having a lot of fun with this. video specifically because I get to hear a lot of stuff that normally I don't hear and normally I don't do. And so using my analysis ears here is a lot of fun. Listen to this beautifully bending, this lovely stretched out voice that we have in the back, like this sort of crescendoing, glissando-y like lift of voice, this big wide open vowel. Super beautiful. There are a lot of layers going on here that are really subtle, just pushed back enough, just reverbed out enough to where you barely hear them. But when you do hear them, it tickles the back of your neck. It like kind of makes your ears go like, wait, hold on. What was that flavor? Ears don't have taste buds. I don't care. It's my analogy. Just listen to this. Holy cannoli. Great vocal production here. Something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. Y'all, am I stupid or did they pan the wah wah wah? Something about the why is the weight of the world or something? Did I imagine that? Why is the weight of the world? Like the W's, the what? Were those being panned? Am I crazy? Maybe it's just like a standard panning of vocal tracks and I'm hearing them stronger on each side. So as is very common song structure these days. And when I say that, it's not a dig. I love it. I love the song structure. Most of the punches were held till the end. Right. And what the heck is with their just pulling out this bowstring. And then at one point he does like this anime, like Omni slash is a two-handed thing, but Omni slash esque whoosh into like the anime superhero pose type thing. How cool was that? That was classy. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about these screams since that's my main thing anyway. Right. I generally think of these as like a metalcore, like pitched scream shout, right? And you can approach these, by the way. When you hear these types of screams, I want you for a second to just take yourself away from false chord and fry and put yourself into delivery, tone, and texture. Now, obviously, it's important to have a false chord, fry, or something else bass, right? Because if you're going to do a scream, you have to have some sort of tone to work with. But rather than being like, oh, I have to learn fry to do this. No, you don't, homie. No, you don't. You can, like me, 95% of what I do is false chord or epiglottal or retinoidal. I don't do a lot of like traditional, whatever that means, fry screams, right? But you can achieve a lot of these tones, and I'm going to show you one of my favorite exercises for it. You can achieve a lot of these tones as long as you have some sort of grit that you are comfortable controlling, right? Now, with this being said, you want to make sure you understand what you're listening for. And Eddie here has an incredibly well-controlled scream. It's a lot of brightness, right? It's a lot of bright, vocal cord permissive, powerful tones. Now, what do I mean by all that, right? Again, bright, we're talking about the accentuation of brighter frequencies. So when you're thinking about your voice, this black square is annoying. Here, yeah, there we go. Let's get this homie. Yeah, look at that cool kid. Bam. Where is he? Come here. Yeah, that's a cool shot. Anyway, so, all right, I'm getting distracted by trying to find the perfect shot. It doesn't matter, Mark. It doesn't matter, Mark. We'll leave it there. So when you think about your voice and you go, we perceive it as one sound, but it's a stack of thousands upon thousands upon thousands of frequencies. You can see this in a spectrogram. Never mind. I was going to show you an example. Well, maybe I still will. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So this is Adobe Audition. This is what I'm tracking my voice into right now. You see all of these like purple and pink and orange lines here. This is a representation of the frequencies that are present in my voice. So over here, it's too small to see on this screen. You've got 20,000 hertz on the top, 200 hertz on the bottom. And so if I hold a note, any note, right? If we were to zoom in, can we zoom in while we're recording? Oh, we can. Beautiful. You will see that there is an example of the frequencies. So there's a lot of low end, some mid range, less high. Now, what if I take that same note? See how things shift upwards? It's the same pitch, but I'm letting brighter frequencies through. It's kind of like my own little custom EQ inside of my face, right? Okay, so with that being said, what you can do is you can take whatever's, you need to have some sort of well-controlled distortion, false chord, fry, I don't know, call it whatever you want. I'm gonna use this, right? Doesn't sound anything like him, and it probably still won't sound exactly like him because, of course, I can't scream exactly like everybody out there. But I'm going to do something that gets me to the same color tone or a similar tone and texture, and I'm going to show you how to do it too. So what you're going to do is you're going to start up here. Hey, hi, hey, hey, and you're going to yodel down. Now that note that I hit, hey, that sounds super high, but it doesn't have to be high. You just need to be in your head voice. Hey, doesn't matter. And you're going to drop down. You're going to sort of yodel down. Hey. We love that vocal break. Keep that vocal break. Hey. Right? Now what I want you to do is I want you to drop onto your distortion of choice, right? This is going to be really tough if you're doing again, fry is a very broad term that encompasses a lot of things. But if you're doing like the sound, this might be a little difficult, although it still can work. But what we're going to do is we're going to drop, hey, you're going to pay attention to what that kind of feels like. This will probably take a couple days, but do you sense any areas where you hear your voice combining with the grit? At first, it might be very black and white. But over time, as you drop, we're combining. Hey, no, the time isn't right. And now I have like this pitched, powerful sound that I can brighten with brighter vowels, like a yeah, give it some twang. Hey, yeah, hey, yay, whoa. And you can kind of go from there. Now, because I use a false chord bass, it's going to be way chunkier than what he does, but it can allow you to sort of get your foot in the door. Let me get rid of this. This is very distracting. So my point is that a bunch of the things that he does that I think this make his scream really, really unique, or should I say distinctive, is that he, at least in a lot of this song, I know that they have some songs where they go a little heavier, has a really nice balance of tone and texture, tone and grit. Right. I'm going to play the outro one more time because I've been talking a lot about the screams and I want you to kind of have them fresh in your memory or have these side by side. But there is like it's almost like it's like 40, let's say 40% clean tone, 60% grit. Right. And he's got this beautiful TV static grit that I just absolutely love. He's also got a lot of cry in the voice, right? Or you can think of it as like sort of like a typical hype man voice. One way that you can sort of get into this more metalcore sound is to deliver your voice less like, when I do these pitch screams in Kardashev, I'm focusing on being very sad boy, very sad, right? I'm in a forest. I don't know where I am, right? And that gives you a sound that's more akin to like atmospheric black metal, right? Yo, inside! Right? If you want to sound less like that and more like, metalcore, instead do like a Fred Durst or like a Zach De La Rocha delivery. Now, those aren't metalcore bands, but if I take that and instead I go, yo, what's up? Hey, yo, what's up? My side. You can hear that I've kind of switched genres, even though I haven't changed really the way that I'm screaming. Can be super effective. And again, don't worry if I'm sitting here doing false chord and you don't have, you've got some other type of distortion. Again, it doesn't matter. You can scream a lot of different ways in a lot of different genres. So let me go ahead and do this outro again because it's sick. And I want you to listen to those things. And if you want to scream along to Imminence, what I would encourage you to do is don't try to match every single iota of his scream. Try to make a scream that fits with the song, right? So obviously it's going to be close, but it's not going to be identical. And the reason I'm pushing for that is because anytime we're introducing grit and pitch at the same time, we're running a little bit more of a risky game because our vocal cords are touching. Anytime we're creating true chord phonation, our vocal cords are engaged. They're in there flapping away. And so I always encourage people when you're starting or just have started doing gritty pitch screams, do what is comfortable for yourself. If you're covering this song and instead of being like up in the stratosphere like he is, you're more down in your chest like a lot of Kublai Khan, that's okay. Start there. Anyways, let's go. Pay no attention to that very obvious hard cut. I totally didn't just get a random stupid idea. Anyways, let's go ahead and listen to the end of this song. Oh, see, I wish it was they kept that going for a while, but I'm kind of a glutton for long endings. The sword made a reappear. You know what? It deserved it. The song deserved the sword. In my opinion, it had to happen. The sword started long ago with a Slaughter to Prevail reaction. I don't remember what it was. Anyways, this, I said long ago that I was going to try to get Eddie on the channel. And I never did. And I need to, because this reaction was a super, super fun time. But like I said, a lot of what's going on in this song is very adjacent to what I do, adjacent to what I teach. but it's not exactly the same. So I would love to pick his brain and get some insights on what it feels like, what the sensation is. Very cool. This is actually one of the most fun reactions I've done in a while, because usually it's like, oh, I've heard a lot of this stuff before. This is what I do for a living. But it was fun to reach out and kind of get across the different genres here. This is some excellent delivery. Like, this song is a really good example of how we can take, I don't want to say easy things, because that scream he's doing is not easy, but we can take a single tone and change a lot about it with the way that it feels, the way that we deliver it, the way that we shape our face around it to create high impact music. And that being said, that's kind of all I have. I just kind of want to go listen to Imminence. Now, I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to wrap this up and just go listen to some Imminence. Maybe that's not very professional of me, but that's what I'm in the mood to do. So if this is your first Kardavox Academy video, go watch the Whitechapel reaction I just put up. That's me really getting into the grid of what I do for a living and what I'm most comfortable with vocal wise. But if you liked this video, thank you so much for watching. Greatly appreciate it. If you're interested in learning how to do metal screams, more of like the type of thing, hit me up, Kardavoxacademy.com. With that being said, I think that's enough for me. Many thanks. Much love. I'm out.